Previously on Trails through Daybreak, Van and the rest of the team had to think about what they wanted to do with their future now that peace was almost restored. While patrolling, they found that several important characters from other cities arrived in Edith in preparation for the Revolution Festival. Finally, the party fought a giant plant monster for one of the hunting quests.
They're so nice.
I don't know what you and your agency have been up to, but it looks like the worst is behind both of us, knock on wood. For our part, the police was tasked with tracking down associates of Amada, although that part's wrapped up for the time being.
For walking into my life.
You know, Karen was starting to worry about you when she didn't see you around here. Hey, I wouldn't say I was worried about them, just concerned about any complications it could have led to, that's all. I'll put it like this, we certainly had our own work to do in that whole situation too, which we've now sorted out. That said, can't say I envy you guys having to jump straight into hunting down the remnants of those goons out right after dealing with the Declaration. Well, we might have been part of the crackdown, but we didn't do all that much ourselves. We mostly shoot up onlookers and asked locals for cooperation when we went and searched through citizens' homes. Yeah, it was a Shady who handled the lion's share of things as usual. If anything, now that things have settled down, the Revolution Festival might turn out to be more hectic for us than for us when it's all said and done. Now the Mafia crackdown is mostly behind us, our attention is finally starting to turn towards the Revolution Festival. This country's been through a lot this year. We got to do everything we can to ensure people of this city can enjoy themselves safely. During the alert, the locals here were all good about maintaining order and following the rules. I'm sure we'll count on them to help us out during the festival too, which means our main focus ought to be on the tourists coming to town. It's so lively today, we've got to get in there and live it up too. We can't be missing out on all the fun.
Dawn of the Revolution.
I don't know about you guys, but when I'm around this kind of atmosphere, it gets me so pumped. And I'm glad to see you're back to your usual self, son. I mean, when you get down to it, letting my race and stuff hold me back just isn't my style, you know? Besides, I've got you and Peter, and Chen's back on his feet, doing what he does best. I feel like I'd be an awful friend to you guys and him if I let myself stay down in the dumps forever like that. There's a son we know and love. Things just aren't the same without you being all happy and full of life. Yeah, I'm glad none of that has left any scars on you or anything. But enough serious talk. Who wants to go bowling, huh? Nothing more refreshing than knocking down some pins at a time like this, am I right? I'm in, let's go. Sure, I could probably use the exercise, honestly. I knew something would be game, but you're actually agreeing with one of my ideas just like that? I don't even know what's happening anymore. This better not be an omen that something weird's gonna happen. Well, if Son's doing better now, maybe it's about time I sucked it up and tried to talk to my dad. The others are right. Whatever anyone else has to say, there's no point in me doing or thinking anything different if I'm not being true to myself. I feel so silly letting myself get so worked up after my brother mentioned what happened in Crate was possibly racially driven. I'm relieved to see Son's feeling better. But I suppose it is true that things aren't always going to stay the same between us three. That's just not how life works.
Catch a revival show.
I need to start making more of an effort to understand where she's coming from. As a friend, it's the least I could do. I'm relieved everything got resolved before the Revolution Festival. It means the EGC at the end of the year can go on as planned. Which means I've got a job to do, and that job is to find some outstanding models. Specifically, some fresh blood capable of spearheading the trends next year that'll be on display at the EGC. Something tells me that now might be a good time to retrace my steps and search for some hidden gems in places I overlooked before. Take that statue across the way. Lots of girls like to hang out there, but I wrote it off since nobody I saw made a strong enough impression on me. But looking at it again with sharper focus, I do see an Eastern young woman who certainly looks to have potential just being in her element. I'm embarrassed I didn't notice her sooner. It just goes to show that I still have more to learn about the job even after all these years. The city might be calm again, but it won't be for long, in a good way. That's because the Revolution Festival's right around the corner. Charles told me the cafe gets hectic every year. I say bring on. I'll show our customers what I'm made of as a part-time pro. I've survived my fair share of busy periods at other places before. Nothing scares me. This cafe will be just fine on my watch come festival time. I think my mommy's feeling better now, and so is everyone else in the city. The lady and the priest at my Sunday school, they're so happy about the Revolution Festival that's about to happen. We have festivals in Elsheim too. I love them. I wonder what festivals are like in this country. We really have to give thanks to Arusha for keeping our son and me safe as well as bringing peace back to the city. I was so scared and full of worry for a while there. The only thing that helped me keep everything together was this wonderful cafe. When you're somewhere unfamiliar, having even just one place where you can calm down and relax when you need it makes all the difference. Glance. Looks like he's back to his normal self, maybe. He does look like he's mellowed out. But I can't tell that part of him still keeping his guard up. Nothing makes me happier than to see peace return to the city so that everyone can enjoy the Revolution Festival in peace. We must not take this tranquility with which we're blessed for granted. After all, we can never get back the lives that were lost in this tragedy. Certainly, it's renewed my commitment to offering the people of this city a place where they can truly feel safe, comfortable, and content.
One girl's courage will change.
So nothing like a good book on crimes to sink my teeth into. I almost can't believe the Quincy Company and ETWS had ties to the Mafia. I mean, they're enormous companies. How could organizations as big as them have such deep ties to the underworld, right? That's crazy. Heh, but that's one of the fun things about reading crime stories. The best ones always have a little dissonance that betray your expectations. Oh, in case you were wondering, the book I'm reading now is a summary of all the white papers on crime that the police put out every year. I'm breezing straight through it, but it's still a pretty fun read, huh? Now the state of emergency has been lifted, stock prices are rebounding. I think we have our president to thank for that. He's been doing some wheeling and dealing with businesses, and he announced the culprit behind the attack on Quatre. I don't know what will happen to this country once the reparation money stops coming in, but I have a feeling he's got a plan for that. Books on Sheena, Dirk, and the Revolution have been selling like gangbusters the last couple of days. I'm taking it as a sign that people are staying positive and trying to look forward to the festival after everything that's happened. As tragic as the incident in Cray was, we can't stay down in the dumps forever. We have to keep moving forward, little by little. So I decided it's high time that this store goes all in on this Orbital Net thing. Maybe it'll open up a website for us. I could even set up a newsletter so people can keep tabs on all the latest happenings. In fact, I went ahead and bought the newest Orbital computer model. Now I just need to master it ASAP so I can make the most of it.
Great!
They say the Mafia is behind all sorts of incidents everywhere, not just what happened in Cray Village and Oracion. Apparently they had a number of businesses working under their umbrella right here in Edith too, and they weren't necessarily on the level either. Yeah, and once they got exposed, you started to see empty buildings suspiciously crop up left and right. I hate to be those real estate agents, but what I'm more interested in is a certain sweets maker over in Oracion. If it was just a case of the president having ties to those nationalists, it wouldn't be that shocking. The guy sure loves to act like a noble. Yeah, but working with Omar like that. They're not the only big company that caught up with them. So was ETWS. But it sure must not be easy being Elaine Auclair right now. What about Lucio? How's he handling all this? You can say that again. The whole thing just leaves a real bad taste in my mouth. Man, all this heavy stuff's getting me down. Wendell, you should go out and find something chill for us to talk about. I need me a change of pace. I'm not at your beck and call, Sloth. I heard rumors before about just how pompous the rich in Oracion are. They might have businesses making sweets or cars or whatever, but to them they're nothing more than a way to get themselves and their family wealthy. Even with land assets behind them, they couldn't care less about the businesses. That's how their weaknesses got preyed on, I bet. I happen to hear that Elaine Auclair once tried to quit being a bracer. I guess I can see where she's coming from. It's probably a big responsibility. She has so many fans, though. To be let down if she ever did. I bet it's not all bad, though. Like, the tabloids, like Buzzbear, haven't had anything bad to report about her. That's gotta count for something. This madness again. Give me a break. Well, I was out sick for a while. I suppose I can do whatever she wants for the time being. Welcome. May I take your order? Is there something on the menu that catches your eye? We may have to deal a decisive blow to Amada, but they haven't been fully eradicated. However, it should only be a matter of time before the remnants are rounded up. Once that happens, the balance of power in the underworld is sure to shift. I can't wait to see who ends up on top.
Eastern cuisine is delicious!
I decided to play a little prank on Calhoun. He took a whole week off work. When he came back, I piled a bunch of my neglected chores onto him. Heh. He seems to be doing better, but I'm taking over the table waiting duty. That way he doesn't have to walk around a bunch. Aren't I nice? Oh, it's you guys. Great job, everyone. You all really saved the day back in Oracion. Thanks, you were a big help too. Without you, I doubt we would have been able to get all those kids on the airship. I've noticed you've been keeping busy lately. Yeah, you could say that. I had a lot of investigating to do once those revelations about Oracion came to light. And it was all worth it in the end. I feel like I'm finally making a difference. Good for you. Now Dingo's got one less thing to worry about up there. I sure hope so. If I'm that much closer to becoming the sort of reporter he was, I'll take it. I hope this article has brought me one step closer to his level. Even the editor-in-chief complimented me on it. I just wish I could have said something to him before he was gone. Look, what am I even saying? Dingo's never going to be able to rest in peace if I let myself get hung up on what-ifs. Marielle's on a roll. She broke the stories about the end of that mafia gang and the rest of that big-time president. She's becoming one heck of a reporter. It's kind of unbelievable. I mean, I know she couldn't have done it all on her own or anything, but it's still pretty astonishing. In any case, I think Dingo can rest in peace knowing Marielle's doing okay. Marielle's write-ups blew me away. She really put my stuff to shame. As someone who mentored her, I feel proud seeing her come so far, but she also makes me feel like I could be doing better. I need to get my act together and step up my game. If I'm not going to be able to see my sister, then the least I can do is put out some killer articles for the Revolution Festival.
See? There's a new movie!
I'm glad things have settled down now. I still can't believe it was the Quincy Company president behind all that. That company has so much history behind it. I knew he personally had ties to the nationalists and the stuff, but it'd be in bed with the mafia. But don't let that ruin their sweets for you. It's important to remember that Quincy's management and manufacturing are somewhat separated. The president might suck, but their sweets did nothing wrong. None of this changes the fact that they're amazing and made by true artisans. Even so, I can't help but feel regret over what's happened. I ate their sweets on occasion and learned plenty of stuff for my own work. I really hope the Quincy Company is able to turn things around and get away from the president and his family. Their sweets are as popular as ever. Nobody should blame the sweets for what happened, or the people involved with actually making them. They were just doing their jobs. I wonder who will take over the Quincy Company then. It's good to see the city full of life again, and not a minute too soon with the Revolution Festival coming up. I've got to hunker down and get ready. The Revolution Festival this year is going to be so big. I hear celebrities and movie industries bigwigs are going to be in this area. And when they come through here, you bet I'm going to try to sell them not just my popcorn, but how much I love the movies they all make. I'm glad they lifted a state of emergency. I can't believe the president of the Quincy Company was behind everything, though. I always wanted to try his company's sweets at least once, but now the thought of them just makes me gag. Ugh. Also, isn't Elaine Claire related to them somehow? I think I remember reading something about it before, but I forget what. This has been a rare eventful year to be certain, especially with last week's tragedy. Yet somehow the festival will carry on, it seems. Now, what should I watch today? This year has seen its fair share of worthwhile films, so picking one won't be easy. That Gloria film is all the rage again now that the Revolution Festival is almost here. Frankly, I still can't help but feel that it's wrong to have an Easterner playing Sheena Dirk. Although people my age have good things to say about her performance, maybe I'll go see the movie so I can pick it apart. Only a week has passed since that horrible event, and we've already amassed an astonishing amount of donations. As soon as we announced that we'd be donating a portion of our revenue, a good number of people came to visit. Witnessing this level of generosity makes me feel truly grateful that I get to be a part of this industry, humble as it is. On another note, Rainfall is premiering on schedule. I highly recommend watching that. It's a heart-wrenching romantic drama but with elaborate set designs and nuanced character portrayals. Trust me when I say it's nothing short of a masterpiece. I cannot sing his praises enough.
Awesome! Thank you.
I missed out on Gloria when it came out, but now I've finally seen it. Nina Fenley was an awesome Sheena Dirk. She's the best.
Soon begin.
I learned a whole bunch from that movie. There were things about the Revolution that they didn't teach us in Sunday school.
To the entrance.
It's my favorite movie I've seen all year. I loved it. It's a relief that Edith's back to his peaceful self. People can now enjoy our movies without fear and anxiety weighing on their minds. In fact, we were able to premiere Rainfall this week like we had originally planned. I'm so glad we were able to make that work. I heard there's been a debate within the film industry as to where studios should hold off on announcing new releases. But with the whole thing behind us, I hope more films will be hitting the theaters before long.
Please proceed to the
Hurrin.
Screen 1 will soon begin.
Okay. Tickets for Midnight Memories. That'll be 600 Mira for free.
Proceed to the entrance.
Purchase. Van decided to let everyone else loose so he could watch a movie during his work break. After inviting some company to tag along with him, they made their way to the theater. Three high schoolers sneak into an old mansion, looking to use it as a setting for their independent horror film. Lance is the star actor, Joshua is the cameraman, Emily is their screenwriter. Each dutifully fulfills their role, and the filming progresses without incident. However, a strange phenomenon occurs as they begin showing the final scenes. Suddenly, the higher elements are active.
For real? Is it just me, or has the lighting been acting up for a bit?
Has it? I don't know. It was working fine this morning. Whoa! The lights went out!
Hey, come on! I can't see a thing! Get those lights back! Ah!
Lance? Huh? Emily? Is that you? Blood! Hey! Emily! Something happened to
Come play with me, Joshua.
You know, at first I thought this was just gonna be some low-budget B-grade schlock. But that was actually pretty damn entertaining. Emily's face when she got all possessed was messed up. Yeah, that scene was definitely a shocker. Tell me something, Aaron. If someone you knew wound up like her, what would you do? I tried to save them, but if that wouldn't work, then I'd put them out of their misery. It'd suck, but it'd be the best thing for them. Better than letting them suffer. That's about what I figured you'd say, yeah. Can't say I'm terribly surprised. Well, sorry I'm so predictable, I guess. What do you want? Anybody reasonable would recognize that visiting such an old mansion in the middle of the night isn't without its own risks, and yet... I'm embarrassed that that movie so managed to scare me so much despite knowing what those characters were in for. Sigh. Yeah, I was keeping an eye on you during the movie and you looked pretty real spooked at times, that's for sure. Really? It was that obvious? I feel bad now. Sorry if you were too scared to have much of a good time back there. I tried keeping my arm on the armrest so you could hold on to it if you needed. You know, I wouldn't have minded. That's okay. You really didn't have to go to that much trouble. Ugh, I swear, man. Hey, looks like they're selling commemorative brochures for this movie. Maybe I should pick one up as a souvenir. Bye. Having finished their break, Van and his crew resumed their work. Barely got him to 3 stars. Once the state of emergency lifts and the festival begins, the marketplace should get a nice shot in the arm. I imagine plenty of industries will try to time their expansion with it, and that brings the need for eagle-eyed consultants like us. And speaking of, the festival is an excellent opportunity to conduct some market research. It's nice that this uptick in my work will keep me busy, but man, I really need to find a better way of letting off steam. No more adult websites for me. I need to go cold turkey. There must be something else that might help me unwind. I've heard we were about done rounding up the Armada stragglers around the capital. Serves them right, just as Sully's rails. It's just a shame we couldn't do anything about it earlier. All those we lost. But it really warms my heart to see the citizens banding together and keeping things under control throughout the state of emergency. Just goes to show that when the police, the bracers, and the public put their minds together, there's nothing they can't do. We're not out of the woods yet, though. We've got the festival coming up, and that's always a doozy for us cops. After everything we've been through, we all need a break like this. I want everyone to enjoy it to the fullest. We're making quick work of those Armada stragglers. As for me, I'm collecting intel from reports about shady businesses in town. Some of those leads are actually paying off, helped us pin down some Armada funding sources in Edith, plus some of their shell companies. All the more reason why doing work on the ground is so important. Everyday people have plenty to share. The inspector says that you guys helped out. Some too. That said, you can't expect us to just keep our mouths shut when we see you scurrying the law. But, well, results are results, I guess. I guess I can cut you some slack. But you'd best stay on the right side of the law, Spriggan. You don't want the police coming after you, too.
Now then.
I always knew Senior Officer Colorado was keeping records on stuff beyond even his usual investigative work. Well, I never thought his side notes would end up exposing Armada collaborators. I guess it goes to show how important it is to talk with everyday people. Even as a receptionist, I hope someday I get the chance to go above and beyond the Call of Duty like that. I need to do more than just connect with the public. I need to put their information to good use. Shrion Tower, your time has come. You'll be mine to say. I had to spend a time inside, of course, but I hardly gave in. What, you think I would? You ruined me. This time, I will unveil the Genesai Koi, that mystic aura of yours, and display for all to see. It's just been busy day after busy day, what with the EGC prep and all. But today I get to slip out from work early, huh? Tonight Jess has a big concert to celebrate his new record. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I'm so excited. I gotta make sure I'm all ready. The tragedy has come and gone, but the lives we lost, they're never coming back. We can't forget them, not ever. We have to keep them in our hearts. I've been to that village, and I'll never forget the harmony I had. I want to work with that harmony and work that harmony into my clothing designs. It's the least I can do in their memory.
We have full confidence in our products.
A new armor, huh? I'm glad everyone's back to normal. Gotta keep the team spirits up. I need to pitch in too. They've helped me more times than I can count, so I gotta return the favor. Right, I better help out too, whatever it takes to get everybody back on their feet.
The Calvard Roadway Information Center. Traffic is heavy
be across Calvard as people from...
That really best you got? Heh, barely broke a sweat. You have to train harder if you want to beat me. And there he goes back on his high horse, prick. However, he was probably just so freaked out last time it threw him off his game. For last time, I was not freaked out and I was not off my game, got it? Maybe instead of running your mouth, you can run it back, or do you know you'll lose again? I heard the festival's going forward as scheduled. It's nice and all, but man, some of these guys just will not shut up about it. Do they really have to drag me to it with them? Well, I guess it's all in good fun. At least I can do is let them in here.
Now then.
Sure, team has some oddballs and some straight laces, but we mesh together pretty well regardless. At the end of the day, we're all neighbors, and a good neighbor has your back. When that emergency declaration went down, everybody kept in touch and worked to keep their streets clear. I guess that's a benefit of throwing together a bunch of misfits like us. The boys were all looking forward to the festival. Glad they were able to pull off a hitch. Really, the only thing we got in common is that we all have too much energy. So it's nice to cut loose and let it all out like this. We have to stop Cray Village from happening again. We're never getting all those people back. We can't let that tragedy repeat. I might already have a new buckwheat supplier, but it's just not the same. I won't forget them. Never. For now, I just gotta do what I can.
Hey, welcome!
Steamed dishes. You know, that Lugon guy isn't so bad after all. He's got a lot more heart than I gave him credit for. I feel kind of bad for just taking those buzzword rumors at face value. I judge him unfairly. And he can always patch up his reputation out on the track. He's still a comet after all. As a Z1 fan and Gearhead, I can't wait to see him get back behind the wheel. Looks like the situation is all under control. The hotel itself isn't in any trouble, thankfully. Brazelia seems to have calmed down. She should be able to enjoy the festival herself now. I do hope she's looking forward to it. She could use the wind in her sails. I've been a few times myself, albeit usually on the job. One of these years, I'd like to go just for pleasure instead of business. Nice little party you guys got here. Don't mind if I do. Well, visit Aaron and the Arkride crew. Good to see you've kept well. I'll never probably see a Bracer, a Hayway Elder, a Marduk security chief, and a CID head all band together like this. Can't deny it makes me a bit on edge though. Types from both sides of the law tend not to mix well. I assure you, it's much less charged than you make it out to be. We're just exchanging information and confirming agreements. Please pay us no mind. Kasim, you look busier than ever, Mr. Al-fayed. Well, I haven't seen you since Orasian. We were actually just talking about how to go about cleaning up that mess. Taking care of the Armada remnants, you mean? Yeah, we've smoked out pretty much all the hideouts they had left. We're taking our own measures, of course, mostly concerning Armada's trade and supply routes. The more problematic trade routes have been taken care of. Hayway will see to the rest. But that's just what you were hoping for. We did also uncover some artifacts they had been using. The church is handling those. Well, good to hear that's taken care of. Cool, nice not to have that looming over the festival. In truth, that's why I'm here. The festival has the full support of the Kowloon group this year. That, of course, does lead to some overlap between us and Marduk. I'm here to make sure we don't step on each other's toes, so to speak. I can't tell you much, I'm afraid. Only a general approach HQ is taking. You'll have to wait 3 days for more in-depth negotiations. Mr. Thorndike will be holding a meeting to go over our itinerary. Well then, you're right. Now probably isn't the best time. Can't go jumping the gun. They're discussing all sorts of things from the looks of it. Yeah, nothing to do with us though. On the contrary, I do have some information you might find useful. We're still tracking down some Armada holdouts that have taken to the underground, along with some of the hate groups they used for their ends. Leftovers, huh? And Melchior's still on the run too. Can't count them out just yet. He pulls those slugs back up and we'll have Armada 2 on our hands. Indeed, he's quite the wild card. We haven't seen any movements from him as of late. But then that means he hasn't been contacting said remnants either. The guild's working on exposing Armada's business ties. We want to pull it all out by the roots. Elaine and some S-ranks from HQ are in charge of that. Gotcha, how's she doing out of curiosity? Sorry, can't say for sure. She should be back tomorrow though. I'm sure she'd appreciate a nice warm welcome when she gets home. But out, bucko. Incidentally, the clamor in Longport has subsided for the time being. I heard your comrades may have been mixed up in all the chaos there. But I must say, those young men do inspire confidence in me. The future is in good hands with their types at the helm. Sin the boys, huh? Good to hear they're doing alright. Might as well kick back with them if they're coming on down for a festival.
Right.
I'm impressed you tracked down this little meeting of ours, Mr. Arkride. As I heard, you have a keen eye and a sharper nose. At any rate, Ashton should be here for the festival. It'd be nice if you could show her a good time. Yeah, it's been 2 months already. I can't wait to see her again. Yeah, I don't mind, as long as she keeps her opinions to herself. Set up pots of kettle. I'm sure you're aware, but taking that group out of the equation has shaken things up here in Edith. Time for you to make good on your name, Spriggan. Yeah, was figuring that anyway. We'll be entrusting Almada's artifacts to the church, and the leftovers will fall under Heiuei's jurisdiction. The Shady and the guild should make quick work of what stragglers remain. Melchior is still a concern, being one of their most prominent leaders, but we haven't noticed any moves from him as of late. Not that we should write them off just yet. We'll need to stay vigilant. The guild's helping out where it can, but we still don't have things under control quite yet. Elaine should be coming back tomorrow. Make sure to give her a warm welcome, will you? Whew, I in the political world can finally breathe easy. Our party does still have some undesirables, white supremacists namely. They're a nasty bunch. One of the party's main priorities is keeping those old boys in check. And as luck would have it, curtailing them helps keep Almada at bay too. I can hardly fathom the lives lost. We're doing what we can, but it all feels so small. We haven't even been able to reclaim the bodies. Horrible, all of it. Just horrible. As the representatives of this great nation, our party must right these wrongs and bring these terrorists to justice. My head just can't keep up with the Polanski and their types. He was there to cool my head when I lost it back there. Where would I be without his advice? I can't deny it's kind of bearing down on me, like I can't manage on my own. I need to learn from him. Learn to look at the bigger picture before I go making big decisions. Maxim, can you tell us about your plans for next year? Well, what we all need is time. These new cars, these new wrecks are gonna take some getting used to. I want to spend as much time testing as possible, so I know I'll bring out the car's full performance. And then, not gonna lie, I'm still kind of bitter about the Auber GP. I want to smash the competition next year to make up for last time. Thank you, and do you have any insight on ETWS Racing's internal issues? Or any comment on your own scandals of late? Can you tell us your side of the story? Oh yeah, that. No, that was just a misunderstanding. I think I put out a statement on the other day on that. She and I were just friends. I know a lot of people believe those rumors, and I want to apologize to everybody who got misled. The only lady for me is my card now and forever. Oh shoot, I should have brought her there. Well, that was hokey as hell. Good that he's at least trying to clear it up, though. I just hope some people don't read too deep into how hard he stammered there. He didn't read his lines all that well. Okay, she was actually there. I forgot she was in the party for some reason. He's holding himself accountable, at least. Best he can do right now. Let's keep it. Just keep an eye out for him. Anyway, I apologize again for my behavior. I just want to put all that behind me. The festival's always a good time, and then next year I want to leave it all out on the track. Always a good time, you say. And what do you get up to when the festival comes around? What's with the tone there? It's nothing bad. Chin up, champ. Chin up. There was that whole thing with the Quincy Company and Orassian, so a lot of suits and bigwigs are under investigation right now. I've heard even Hotel Leclerc got dragged into it, since that was where a lot of them were staying. We've dealt with a few Orassian VIPs here ourselves, come to quit. And you know, I do think they had some shady business going on between you and me. Maybe all that scrutiny is warranted. Farah said he won't be able to make it to the festival this year. Again, I know it's not his fault, but still. He hasn't completely forgotten me, at least. That's a good note to end the year on. I should just suck it up and tell him how I really feel. On the surface, the situation has calmed down. The city is awash with festival cheer. But the order of events in Arassian remains a mystery, and the government and economy are rife with turmoil. The president has his hands full trying to navigate it all. He's told us that he won't be home for the festival as a result. The young miss feels as though she only ever sees him through a screen these days. We've had quite a number of emergency meetings at the hotel recently. Though the boardroom is not my place, I would be honored to assist the president with whatever official matters he might need. Auber District, never been there before.
May we be on our way.
Urgent for a quest, but that was only for a dungeon. Oh, there's Shino. Hey, Shino. Funny to see you in front of Aramis. Oh right, I was looking for a good spot and I suppose I just ended up here. The location is nice and quiet, and the view is just lovely. And not only that, but my food is actually quite popular with the students. Well, of course you'd want to snack after classes. You get hungry after so long. No, I think you just don't eat enough, small fry. I imagine the sports club members are especially appreciative. The location is nice and quiet, and the view is just lovely. I've been looking for a good spot to set up during the Fair Revolution Festival, and this might just be it.
Hello.
Shino's mix.
No outsiders allowed, huh? Guess that makes sense. Not like there'd be much to see. It's a day off, so there are hardly any students around.
Oh, hello, Agnes. You busy with that part-time job you mentioned? Hello, Mr. Powell. Yes, that's right. You're Agnes' teacher. You look very smart. Mr. Powell teaches history and is in charge of the second-year students. I don't know how smart I really am, but I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. If I know the answer to them, at least. Oh, you're... Arkride, Van Arkride. Huh? If he knows you, then... Man, I figured you would have forgotten all about me already. Nice seeing you, Mr. Powell. Forgotten? Impossible. You don't just forget students as special as you, Van. It's been 7 long years. I'm glad that despite everything, you seem to be doing well. I'm doing fine, thanks. Though I guess I made shit real rowdy around here, huh? Sorry about that. Not at all. I do wish I'd been able to do more for you as your teacher. But I guess it's too late for such regrets by now, isn't it? If there's anything I can do for you now, I hope you know you just have to ask. Appreciate it, but I really am fine. Thanks for the thought, though. It hadn't even occurred to me that Van might have been one of Mr. Powell's students. So Van studied at Aramis, that's new. He did sort of give me that feel. He's just full of surprises, eh? Not a big deal, but it does kind of bar me. So Agnes is working for you then. What a small and wonderful world we live in, but I'll leave you to it. I'm relieved you seem well. I look forward to you visiting if you ever feel like it. Sure, take care of yourself, Mr. Powell. Keep an eye on Agnes too. Van's acting just like Abby. That's embarrassing. Thank you for your time today. Of course. Good work today, everyone. I know the Revolution Festival is almost here, but don't get too excited. Be safe on your way home. You look real cheery today, Miss Sonia. Something good happen? I think Miss Sonia is more pumped for the festival than we are. Oh goodness, not at all, I assure you. Anyway, be safe, everyone. Don't want to get hurt and waste all your hard work for the winter tournament. A blind day on the exact same day as the festival. That's impeccable timing. Oh, how romantic. I guess the goddess hasn't given up on me yet after all. Unless Melchior planned something on that day.
This year's almost over already.
Basically, you tried your luck with a bunch of girls and had 0 luck, so now you're in desperate need for someone to spend the festival with. This is ridiculous. Unsurprising, but ridiculous all the same. What are you even planning? Come on, man. A sausage party is better than being all alone. Also, you know, extra manpower means extra sex appeal, yeah? The ladies will be flocking to us during the festival. Unbelievable. Well, unfortunately for you, I made arrangements with the student council. I suspect Julian will also be busy. No, actually, I don't have any plans. I was hoping to have someone to show me around the festival, in fact. Maybe you would be willing to. For real, you who could have your pick from all the hot babes at school is choosing to go with me. Thanks, man. Julian, I freaking love you. You are utterly incomprehensible. I'm afraid the student council will be busy discussing our matters at length, so we won't have time for much else. Oh yeah, is that right? Can't bear to break a promise to a pretty lady, eh, Casanova? Stop teasing me, I didn't mean it like that. What are they talking about? Anyway, we'll be busy during the festival. Besides, it's an important day for the Republic. I don't think it's appropriate to spend it so irreverently. I ain't buying that for a sec, but I guess I'll lay off. Not a boring day with Lyle around. This is my first Revolution Festival, so I'm hoping to get to really see the sights. Gotta make sure to take a lot of the memories to share with my friends back in the Empire. Ark, Julian's such a chick magnet, it's unreal. How does he do it? I know, I'm gonna mooch off. I mean, I'm gonna show him around the festival and learn all his secret techniques. These deers are always willing to get close to me when I'm anxious. I guess even kittens can tell how people feel. Even if the perpetrators were captured, what happened in Craig cannot be undone. I've been there a few times before, since I used to be border patrol. I risked my life to defend that place, and to think about what happened to it. That's a horrifying weapon that the mafia used. First it was Crossbell's new weapon from last year, and now this. How much further will we take these ghastly weapons? At this rate, I hope we don't end up destroying the entire continent. Who's a good boy? Oh yes, it's you. Come on, Apollo, let's take a walk around the neighborhood. What's that, you want to go play with your friend? Okay, we'll stop by at the end of the walk. Okay, we've got finals after a festival, and we've got to start playing the school festival after that too. Both the student council and my clubs will keep me very busy. Oh, I finally forgotten all about exams. Why did you have to remind me? Things will be really hectic for you, huh? Make sure you don't miss the Revolution Festival. We can take great inspiration from it for our own school festival. An excellent idea. I have little experience planning events like these, but I will endeavor to make sure tea party is most exquisite. I was hoping you'd hold a candle to Janice after my transfer, or to Forrest, considering all I've heard from Tita. Agnes, Sasha, I have high hopes for you. Ooh, I don't like that. This is gonna be weird, I can feel it. I'm gonna be busy anyways, but seeing Ren get so into this is a little scary. Well, we don't have time to dawdle. Onwards, you guys, to the new year. Of course. Alright, Student Council, let's get back in gear. There's a lot of club events coming up, but I think I'll prioritize getting the basketball club ready for this winter's nationals. I'm their captain after all. It's on me to lead them to victory. Isn't Ren being a little scary? She looks pretty serious about this. Let's pull through this, Agnes. We can't let this or exams win. Yes, we'll get through this together, Odette.
Okay. Almost festival time.
Aramis' student body is sharper than I gave them credit for. Quite a delightful tea party we have on our hands. I was hoping they'd hold a candle to Janice after my transfer, or to Force, considering all I've heard from Tita. I'm expecting a lot from you, Agnes. Don't disappoint me, alright? Of course. Well, that's comforting, but also laying the pressure on a little thick.
Welcome to Andalusia Patisserie!
My ardent passion shone through today, and I bought one of Holland's masterpieces. Holland endeavors wholeheartedly every day to deliver us the sweet treats. It's our duty as customers to put our body and soul into purchasing and enjoying his confections.
Now then.
Well, hello, Anya-san. Why, it's Van. Van, you rascal, I haven't seen you in quite some time. I guess it would make sense that you'd know Holland. Considering what you'll do for their treats, it's really no surprise you'd come before, Van. Yeah, but I haven't been around in a long while. How the hell do you still remember me? It's my job. My customers' gratitude carries me forward in the art of confectionery. I make the best sweets for their enjoyment. And no one enjoys them as much as you do. I could never forget someone so passionate for my sweets. There's something nice about being remembered, even if I haven't been here in forever. You haven't lost your touch. I've had stuff from Andalusia since and it's still great. I think I'll swing by more often if I have the time. Feel free to do so. Regulars like you make getting up in the morning worth it. Though I never would have imagined that the two of you would walk through my door together. Wait, was that package Agnes bought this summer for you? That's a good guess. Small world out there, huh? Well, I'll be busier than ever since the festival's almost here, but I don't want you taking that as an excuse to not come by. Sure thing, man. I'll fit in a visit or two. This year's been rough, but I wasn't expecting it to cap off by seeing an old regular. I don't know what you've been up to since I last saw you, but I do remember you very well from back then. Even though you always looked embarrassed to be here, you'd have the biggest smile anytime you ate anything.
Looking to buy something?
Kingdom Tart. Why does that sound like Kingdom Hearts? Is that deliberate? Prince Sharid, who's come for the Revolution Festival, is staying in this embassy. He comes and goes every so often. He's been enjoying sightseeing around Edith. It's a little concerning, to be frank, even though I know he has Miss Najee as an escort. But I can't deny that it's quite charming to see the prince cut loose. Him being so easygoing has made him well liked amongst the embassy staff. Welcome to Edith Grand Cathedral. We're currently holding a memorial mass for Cray Village. There will also be a memorial service during the festival. Many will come to pay their respects then. It isn't terribly busy right now, which might be ideal for those of a wary heart that might want to mourn in a more reserved manner. I do wonder where Sister Ophelia will be able to handle things with the large ceremony coming up. Sister Ophelia confessed this morning, but I'm not sure what it was about. Still, her faith is unquestionable. I'm sure she will overcome it.
Wow, this cathedral isn't as big as the one in Aracian, but it's still pretty massive. The interior is also quite beautiful, and it's such a soothing place to be in.
Looks like they're busy getting ready for the memorial service.
That shouldn't mean we cannot take a look around.
I'd handle our staff scheduling so that Sister Belicia could be in her hometown of Sister People. And to think that just meant she'd be another victim in the Cray Village tragedy. The least I can wish for is that she can rest easy, having supported her beloved hometown until the very end. I shall pray for the gods to bless Sister Belicia and her village. Come to think of it, Sister Ophelia made a confession to me this morning. I'm not exactly sure what was bothering her. I can't imagine her faith was anything to confess about. She spoke of reverence, but a word like that doesn't seem to invite sin to me. Goddess, thank you for blessing us. Please grant eternal peace to those souls of those who have passed. Miss Goddess Adios, please watch over Daddy and Mommy and me. Mommy, where's Daddy? Oh, I forgot to mention, Colio said he'd arrive a little late. With the festival and now the attack on top of everything, things have been hectic over at the Crosswell Consulate. Don't worry, it sounds like everything will be settled before the festivities, and we'll get to spend the festival with Daddy. Yeah, I want to spend the festival together with Mommy and Daddy. It's gonna be so much fun. I want Daddy to take me everywhere. Sure, darling. We'll have fun today with Daddy and to make up for all the times he couldn't be with us while he was working in Arabonia. Colio and I will be attending the memorial mass on the day of the festival, but we came by today to worship as well. It hardly hurts to offer more prayers for peace for the victims and peace for our future. Besides, I like the cathedral. Honestly, I always have. It's peaceful here. I used to come by when I was still a novice artist at Draw the Cathedral. It's held a special place in my heart since. Mommy draws the cathedral a lot. Her drawings are really popular, but she said those weren't her favorite treasures and that she has something more special. I wonder which painting it could be. She wouldn't tell me. She said it was a secret. Well then, I'd best touch base with the Archbishop about the state of things in Eurasian. I've been observing the situation there over the last week, and things have thankfully calmed down. That arrest amongst the elites has caused quite the turmoil, but the Archbishop has put in a lot of effort to calm the situation. Though they still seem rather hostile to Edith Grand Cathedral. Alright, I think I largely understand. While I don't intend to encourage your illicit activities, I do, however, agree that something must be done about Almada and their legacy. You're welcome to come and go from here as needed while you're in the capital. How very kind of you. No, but seriously, I appreciate the help. I was kind of expecting every higher up in the congregation for divine worship to have a stick jammed up there. Solace, you're being rude. However, I will agree that it's a little surprising. Hardly. Let's just say that arrangements had been made by someone else already. And speaking of them... My, what a coincidence. Father Bark, Master Burgard. Celeste, Leon, it's been about a week. Nice to see you too, Bishop Orwell. It's been a while. I appreciate you making arrangements. Don't mention it. We might not be part of the same organization, but you always did well by me when you were on active duty. Now, if you'll excuse me, I shall take my leave. Take however much time you need, all of you. Guess they probably would have kicked us out the door if it wasn't for you, eh, Master? Though we've managed quite a lot on our own. No, don't be so put out. Building bridges where there used to be none takes time. So what's the current status? I do not believe the rebel has been cleared in Rossian yet. Right, about that. Oh, you're still sticking with these jerks, Master. I was under the impression you were merely accompanying them as a matter of necessity and that you'd part ways after business was settled in Rossian. You know, you can just say hello, right? Ain't good tonight we're not cut from the cleanest cloth. Let's just say it's a complicated matter. For the time being, it would be far more beneficial to stick with them than act alone. It isn't too unlike the reason that brought you to the capital in the first place. Hey, you never pull a punch. We left the Second Dominion in charge of cleaning up that mess. Those petitions of his should help look for shit faster than I ever could. Aramis' team also arrived to lend a hand. He's been acting separately from Wazi quite often lately. But I guess that's what you ought to expect of a master of the Kunlun school. Hey, we'll leave you to it then. I'm glad you're doing well. Hopefully we'll get to see them sometime. Kevin and Gaius too. Please, maybe they'll get them off our backs. The commander's not said shit, so they're bothering us about it instead. That's the commander for you. Were they to upset her, she would sooner drink them under the table than speak frankly. They are aware of that. They're having fun. How much of a big deal is Gramps? Someone's spying over him everywhere we go. He looks to be very well acquainted and respected by a lot of high-ranking individuals. He's got a lot of apprentices outside the church, like me. But why would these idiots be all the way here? What's so important to leave artifact retrieval to someone else? They were talking about Almada's legacy. Could that mean... No, it can't, can it? Or another bomb? Huh? Something bugging you, Arkride? No need to let some steam off? We never declared a proper victor for that little game, so why don't you square up for another round? Mind chilling for just 1 second? If you got some patent energy, go bother someone else. Besides, a lot of other players are out here in the capital today. Not that it might have anything to do with why you two are here. Tish, Do feel free to guess. I love to hope for nothing to happen whatsoever, but we're not naive enough to let our guard down. We're merely here as insurance. Not unlike you, Spriggan. Fine, guess you've got a point. They get along like cats and dogs. Pretty boy over there looks like he has a bone to pick with Van. But I don't think it has anything to do with Burgard. Well, I can't say more about that. Confidential and only for Master's ears. Leon's gonna be spending the next few days in Edith's outskirts. Best wishes to you guys or whatever. I'll give you a hand if those bad predictions of mine turn out to be true. How generous of you. Bad predictions, huh? Any of our Spriggan here won't appreciate our well wishes. I do sincerely hope you all will be safe out there. This might be the calm right before the storm, after all. Ah, Leon. Pardon me if I've overstepped, but I imagine you're of the same mind, right? I mean, never hurts to be careful. Nobody didn't know what with how he was acting. Well, I can't imagine you'll be in much danger if you have our teacher with you. I'll pray for your safety, even yours, Arkride. Don't really need it, but thanks for worrying. These are the new choir members for the Revolution Festival. As always, I'm in charge of the choir. The festival draws near, so let's give it our best effort. The congregation for the sacraments should be able to handle things at least to a certain extent. You and Burgard should take some time to rest.
What do I do?
Alright.
Looks like we got 4 SPG. Problem child, my son Curtis has recently started behaving rather violently. I'm concerned he might have made friends with some bad eggs. I would like you to investigate what happened to him. I'll explain things over at my house in Old Town, Zora. Wasn't he still studying? I ain't smelling the usual scent, so I think the bulletin board hunt's over. You're Zora, right? The one who put the call out for us? We're with Arkride Solutions. Nice to meet you. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. Please, have a seat. I'll get some tea ready in just a minute. I was curious what a Spriggan would be like, you know? We look just like normal people. I might have even seen you around town before. You probably have. Our office is in Old Town. I know some stuff about you and your son. He's studying for high school and entrance exams, right? Wow, you weren't kidding. You really do know about us. I guess the dialogue changes if you talked to him before. But you're right. We're hoping he'll be able to get into Aramis Academy, so I've been having him rigorously study every day. His grades were in a bit of a rut for a while, but they have thankfully started improving. Not that I ever doubted him, of course. He's my son, so of course he's capable. If he keeps this up, he'll surely will nail a spot in the academy at the tippy top of his class. That pressure may have been what caused him to join those unsavory types to begin with. Moms really are passionate about our kids' education. But right as he's starting to show some promise, the situation turns dire. Curtis has been behaving really strange as of late. He's become violent all of a sudden, yelling really loudly, hitting things. And he's never done that before. I can see why you would be concerned. Never in his life. He's always been a good boy. He must be in some awful company if he's acting this way. That's the most logical explanation. I take my eyes off him for a moment and this happens. That's why I need you. Please, figure out what happened to my precious Curtis. So what if he's gotten a little sassy? I want to curse myself if I was getting choked like this 24/7. Really? I don't think it would hurt to look around a little and make sure he isn't falling in with a bad crowd just to be safe. What if he joined the remnants of Almada? What do you think, Van? Should we help her? Maybe. Give me a minute to think about it. Accept. Alright, we'll take the case. Fantastic. Thank you so much. If you don't mind me asking, ma'am, where is Curtis right now? He's out buying some reference material. There's a bookstore in the Tyrell District we like to shop at. I imagine he's there. Oh, so he's out right now. Perfect. Before we start with anything else, mind if we search his room? I ain't too hot on digging through a teen's room like that, but it's the most obvious place to start looking. I understand. You can search his room. Follow me upstairs. Bet you anything he's got all the good dirty mags hidden under his mattress. How did I know you were gonna say that?
Let's hurry up and finish this.
Here you are. This is Curtis's room. Thanks for showing us. Alright, let's get this done before kids back home. Didn't fuck up the order, did I? Okay, then the rest started coming through Curtis's bedroom. At first, they found nothing of note that could plausibly explain his violent turn behavior. The only objects that kept hidden were mock exams with failing scores. But a few minutes later, well, look at that. Do you find something, Van? You bet. Take a look at what I found tucked away inside the desk drawer. A mint tin. It looks empty. I don't think I recognize the brand. Could you explain what it is? They sell tobacco-flavored mints inside these suckers. You only get them if you're smoking or trying to quit. That would explain why it doesn't smell like cigs in here. He could have been chewing on those instead of lighting one up. They taste like what? They might not be the real thing, but only delinquents even think about smoking at his age. Oh, my poor Curtis, where did I go wrong with you? I thought I raised you to be such a good boy. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We might be missing something that explains why he had this tin. I know exactly why he had it. It's all my husband's fault. Him and that scandal of his that got him demoted from the Bank of Edith. We were forced to move into Old Town because of that. If we were living in a safer neighborhood, my son wouldn't be straying from the path. My husband was supposed to start working at a subsidiary once he was out of probation. But where do I end up finding him instead? Montmort. I caught him eating there again without a care in the world while I was out shopping. Absolutely ridiculous. Has he been working this whole time or just pulling the wool over my eyes? I can't trust him anymore. Would you? Wow, she just keeps going. So anyway, this tin gives us a good jumping off point. We'll keep sniffing around and see what we turn up. Pardon my outburst. I'll leave you all to it. I'll be waiting for your report downstairs. What's the matter, Van? Did you notice that something else? Yeah, the tin still stinks. It's faint, but you can still get a whiff of if you get real close to it. It smells just like an orbital hookah. Feels like a lifetime ago, but I recognize that smell anywhere. What? I thought we got rid of all that. What, really? And here I thought we were finally done with that bullshit. That Ishmelga version 2.0. I don't know if I'm more surprised by the orbital hookahs coming back or that hound's nose of yours picking up the smell. You mean the drug that A developed and peddled through Vegas films? I don't remember hearing about that stuff coming in tablets. Where did he get something like that? I worry for how his health might be affected. Alright, Chief, what's the plan? Do we go straight to the kid and get him to spill? No, we need to figure out where these things came from in the first place. Right now, this stays between us. Nothing good can come of his mom catching wind of this. With a firecracker of a mom like that, I can only imagine. Since we're talking about tobacco-flavored mints, maybe a cigarette seller would know something. If his father smokes too, that could also lead somewhere. Agreed, might as well look into both of those. The mom said something about her husband eating at Montmort. Oh man.
Let me ask you something.
Sorry to interrupt your class. Can we have a quick chat? We wanted to ask about a kid we've been hired to look into. Name's Curtis. So I have all the times. I guess we can if it really can't wait. Let's go somewhere else. Then I explained the request the artist received from Curtis's mother. They also explained his stark change in personality. Right, okay. Not gonna lie, I think his parents are making a storm in a teacup. Kid's not gonna turn into some hardened criminal because of this. But to answer your question, I do know who you're talking about. He came to my tobacco kiosk about an hour ago. He did? Yeah, he asked if I had any tobacco-flavored mints for sale. I told him I don't sell them and that even if I did, a kid like him shouldn't go anywhere near them. He got all huffy and started yelling, called me an old hag, which was nice of him. Wow, I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. Damn, kid's got balls to say that to your face. What did he do after that? Beats me. My guess is he went looking for some other place he could sucker into selling him those mints. Makes sense. Thanks for the info. Could be another modest shell company?
Can we talk?
Got a minute? We want to ask something about your son. Van explained the request from Roman's wife and summarized the team's findings thus far. What? My son is chewing on tobacco-flavored mints? I can't believe it. He's never been the brightest at school, but I didn't think he'd be that stupid. Sir, please, calm down. As an aside, do you smoke at all yourself? Gods, no. Why would I? The smell would only make our clients uncomfortable. Then do you have any idea why Curtis would be taking those tablets? Any idea at all? Oh, I know what's going on with him. Well, he must be getting lazy, tired of studying for entrance exams, so he must be taking them as a distraction. What an embarrassment. He's getting real spoiled if he thinks he can get away with all of this nonsense. When I was his age, I was so focused on my studies, I didn't even eat or sleep. Just what in Gehenna is Zora doing raising her son for him to turn out like that? What's his problem? I get that he's mad, but he's still the kid's dad. With parents like these, kid was gonna start acting out sooner or later. Thanks for the info. We'll get out of your hair now. Well, that's both people on our list. And none of it helps. Dad didn't really tell us anything new about the kid, and we got no info to go on about those mints. Guess the last stop's that bookstore his mom mentioned. He might not even be there, but it can't hurt to talk to him if he is. If he's not, we can always ask the staff. They might know something.
Let me ask you something.
I don't see anyone who looks like they could be Curtis. I'll hit up the manager and see what she has to say. Excuse me, does the name Curtis ring a bell by any chance? Then I explained the request and the errors received from Curtis's mother. They also explained his stark change in personality. Oh wow, poor Curtis. I had no idea he was going through all that. He comes here a lot, so one of my workers and I made a point of looking after him and helping him with his studies. Unfortunately, I couldn't tell you anything about his personal life or those myths you mentioned. That's all news to me too. That's okay, we appreciate you talking to us at all. If you don't mind me asking, could you tell us about the other worker? Oh, I recognize you. You come here a lot too. You're from Aramis, aren't you? His name is Albert. You probably know him, right? Yes, absolutely. I can't believe I forgot that this is where he works. He sure does. He and Curtis seem to get along really well. He would recommend reference books for Curtis to buy and whatnot. Between the two of us, I imagine Albert would know more about him than I do. Fat loaf good that'll do us unless we can track the nerd down. Any ideas where he might be? At this hour, he's probably either on campus or somewhere around the Auber District. And what are we waiting for? Let's go find him. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Fingers crossed he doesn't turn out to be a dead end.
Almost over.
Let me ask you something.
I'm sorry to call you all of a sudden, Albert. It's alright. It looks like it's something you need to be discreet about. Something like that. We're looking into someone right now. Do you know Curtis? Van's team told Albert what they heard from Curtis's mom. They also mentioned how he changed recently. Damn it, I knew something was up. He'd been acting strange lately. Maybe unstable is the best word for it. It was very different from his usual self. How long have you known? Oh, you know, I don't really want to help you. But I guess I noticed it around late October, early November. He was pretty down in the dumps before that, saying he lost motivation. But he then started being all excited about his studies all of a sudden. Something was off about it, though. I don't know where all the enthusiasm came from. Thank you for letting us know. Have you heard anything in particular about his friends? As if he was hanging around a bad crowd? No, not really. Didn't look like it anyway. Wait, maybe. It's not quite that. But I remember someone that looked like him hanging around the back streets in the Tyrell District. Since it was at night and the guy he was talking to looked real shady, I kinda just assumed it couldn't be Curtis. Damn it, maybe that's the guy that... Come on, stop mumbling on now already. We've been warned at school to watch out for a suspicious man that hangs around Tyrell's back streets. He apparently sells tobacco and hard drugs to young people. That's what the rumors say anyway. I should have made the connection earlier. Chris could have bought the tablets from him. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe he was going to meet him today when he said he was going to the bookstore. Looks like it anyway. Next stop, Tyrell's back streets. Well, I'm glad I could be of help. Please do something for Curtis. We will. Thank you for your help, Albert.
Into my life.
There he is. That's gotta be the seller, right? He just looks like it. Only one way to find out. I'll pose as a customer and try talking to him. You guys hang out here. If we approach him as a group, he'll probably get spooked. Makes sense to me. Good luck, Van. Whoa, hold on a minute, Chief. We're talking about a guy who deals to kids. He's not gonna want to sell to an old fart like you. So you'll never miss an opportunity to remind me that I'm older than you, do you? But you might have a point. If his client base is students like Curtis, then I sure as hell am out. Oh, Van, don't let Aaron get to you. You're still perfectly young. Yeah, don't worry about it. You should be more confident. Now, I agree. I'm not the best man for a job. It ought to be someone who looks rebellious enough to enjoy taking drugs, or else our guy won't bite. You're up, kid. Show this old man what a young punk like you can deliver. Hell yeah, I'll deliver alright. Just watch and learn. Yo, dude, heard you could hook me up with some good shit. That true? Who the hell are you? A good friend of mine told me all about you. Said you've got some kick-ass mints that can get you high. Emphasis on the kick. Mind hooking me up with some? I'll pay you whatever you want if that's good. If it's that good. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, man. That lanky-ass school kid fill you in. I'll let you in on a secret. That stuff originally came straight from some pharmaceutical company. I hadn't heard of them before, but I guess they got busted by the cops or something like that. They were out on the market for only a hot minute before they were taken off. I just sold the last of my stock to that kid a little while ago. You kidding me? All that talking you've got nothing to deliver? Way to let a guy down. Hey, trust me, I'd love to have more so I could make even more money. It is what it is. Seems like that kid's developed a real dependence on them, though. I tried telling him what I just told you, but he got all pissy with me. Told me to give him more before chucking what he had like a little baby. Ugh, stuff like that's why I freaking hate dealing with addicts like him. They've always gotta make everything hard. Bingo, so the kid really did just come through here. Sounds pretty shitty, yeah. What did he do after he threw that temper tantrum? I suggested some other stuff to try, but he wouldn't listen to me at all. All he wants are those mints, it seems. So I told him to try the Blacklight District just to finally get the kid out of my face. Even told him how to get down there for good measure. Hopefully he'll leave me alone now. The Blacklight District, huh? That's a good idea. I could definitely see someone down there hawking that stuff in some dark and dingy corner. Is that all you were after, too? Just those mints? I've got plenty of other perfectly good stuff, you know. I'll even give you a free hit. You should try it. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm only interested in those mints, too. Great, thanks for nothing. What a waste of time this was. I think I'm gonna try selling somewhere else today. Scene here started in the stuffed palm. Nice work. Sounds like you got a lot out of that dirtbag. I'm just glad we have an idea of where Curtis might be now. I bet we can guess where those mints came from too. Yeah, it was probably a dummy corporation set up by A. Now all we need to do is find the kid and hear his side of the story. Seeing as he's on his way to the Blacklight District, let's focus on dragging him out first. We can question him after that. Shall we be on our way then? Sounds good to me. A place like that's going to be dangerous for a kid like him before long. Finally, I finally found you. Hey, you're Maja, right? The herb seller. Tell me you've got the mints I'm looking for. Say, I don't think I recognize you. You look like you came from the surface, the way you're dressed. Hate to break it to you, but I don't stock that garbage. Honestly, you should really quit taking those things if you know what's good for you. Liar, you have those mints. I know it. If I don't get more of those mints, Bingo, knew this was where we'd find our Poindexter. What do you want? I could swear I recognize you from somewhere. You're Curtis, right? Clearly something's going on with this kid here. Mind filling me in? Sure, his mom sent out a request for us. Van Company brought the two up to speed on the events that brought them here. They clarified that the mints Curtis had been eating were reportedly laced with illicit substances. What? I didn't hear anything about that. All I knew was that they were hard to come by. I thought they were ordinary mints that just happened to taste like a tobacco. Oh, there's more to them than that. Much more. I heard they were manufactured by A, and that they leaked out onto the streets before the cops did their post-Farbad roundup. The CID stamped out their pipelines, so they're not being made anymore. It's only a matter of time before they're off the streets completely. Well, that's a relief. I get you kids like to rebel against their parents, but hard drugs aren't exactly the gotcha you think they are. It's not about that. I'm not trying to rebel. I need those mints. Why can't you simpletons understand? It's not worth damaging your body. You really need to stop. You're already showing side effects, bud. The outbursts there are probably the mints making you irritable and prone to withdrawal. Like it or not, those things are having an impact on you, and they're only going to get worse the longer you're on them. I know that, for crying out loud. I know they're dangerous, but I have to take them. If I don't have them, I can't study hard enough. If I can't study hard enough, I'll fail my entrance exam, and then I'll just be another stupid kid like the rest. I don't even want to imagine how my parents would react if that happens. They'll yell and scream and maybe kick me out of the house. My life's over, isn't it? This poor kid, I feel awful for him. This mint addiction seems to be a symptom of the real problem, then. We need to address the root cause to solve this case. This poor kid's been driven into a corner. We have to hold his parents accountable. No middle schooler should be stressing like this. But it's pretty clear to me that the parents share some of the blame here. We're gonna need to give them a talking to. I know you're not gonna like this, but I need you to be part of that discussion with us, okay? If you don't mind me asking, do you know who sold those mints to him in the first place? We do, actually. Blonde guy with a goatee. Seems like he had a habit of slinging his stuff around town. Oh, him. Should've figured. Don't you guys worry. He hasn't been on the streets for long. I'll be sure to remind him of the rules we have here. Though frankly, if he's going around selling drugs to children, he won't be on the streets for long. Thanks. We really appreciate it. Saves us the relish of having to go find him again. Yeah, send him to that bookstore lady who's really sus. I probably ought to report back to Renee before doing anything else, though. Now we're done here. Let's swing back around to Bermai's place and fill him in on the details. Good idea. Maybe he can take a look at Curtis and diagnose his condition, too. Van Company quickly got to work paying Bermai a visit and filling him in on their mint tea mystery. Having previously analyzed the ingredients found in the herbal hookah, Bermai was able to prescribe sorely needed medicine for the boy. And once Curtis' symptoms subsided, Van contacted his parents. They agreed to reconvene at the family's home so that the group could report their findings. Okay, now that everyone's here, we can get started. Well, what did you find? Was I right? Has Curtis made some bad friends? Well, I'm sure it's just a typical rebellious teen phase. Let's go over what we found and then we can take things from there. May I begin by discussing how Chris bought the tobacco-flavored mints from a dealer on a whim. Chris soon had developed a dependency on them, since his academics imprudently used them. Man also brought up how the mints were laced with drugs. Though the side effects were light, Chris soon started taking prescription medicine, thinking it would cure him. So this is all so much to take in. I feel so dizzy simply thinking about it. I think my own son would be taking prescription drugs. He's even worse than I could have imagined. I'm very disappointed in you. Is this the thanks I get after supporting you in your studies unconditionally? What do you have to say for yourself, young man? Keep it down, will you? Or do you want the neighbors to hear you? As for you, do you forget that your father just started working again? I don't have time for this nonsense, and yet here you are, causing me nothing but problems, as if I didn't have enough on my plate already. I practically had to beg for some time off work to come have this conversation with you. Are you even aware of what I'm going through? I'm sorry. I'm honestly surprised at the total lack of shame here. So am I. Are you actually sorry for what you've put us through, young man? I trust the police aren't going to have to get involved at this point. The last thing I need is for my son to get arrested. Now that will really get me fired. No, you two got it all wrong. He's not the one that should be ashamed. It's you two. You should be mortified. Though I guess that's up to you. Can't force either of you to feel guilty. Guilty? What should I even feel guilty for? Don't try to change the subject. Curtis is the one that's acting like a delinquent. This isn't about us. Hey, on the contrary, this is all about you folks. Or do you forget already? You asked us to figure out why our kid changed. We're serving you the answer on a silver platter. Chris was hitting a dead end with his studies and felt like he was being driven into a corner. That may be true, but I fail to see what that has to do with either of us. Since you're not getting it, I'll spell it out for you. Your son didn't fall in with a bad crowd or change because of some damn mints. It's all his parents' fault, a neglectful parent that failed to notice what he was going through. Or maybe you just didn't want to. I knew I wouldn't like where this conversation was headed. Where did I fail as a father, huh? Have you two ever stopped to think about how Chris feels? I don't know everything about your family, but it looks like you two only worry about what you want for him and not what he wants. And who are you thinking you can tell us how to run our family? You don't have the slightest idea of how hard I worked for this. Also, Chris could get into a prestigious high school. His future would be set. Exactly. Do you know how much money I've spent on his textbooks and mock tests? I've done all that despite my work situation. This conversation is getting nowhere, and fast. Should have known they wouldn't listen. It'd feel wrong bailing out and leaving the kid out to dry, though. Not really myself, but I guess it's time for a little marriage counseling. What should I tell them? Recommend a divorce, bring up their family bonds. Huh. I'm already getting law by default for this one, so maybe I should go with chaos. I don't know. Maybe a little shock therapy's in order. Let's see what they think if I tell them they ought to split. Don't know if this is the best time to bring it up, but from where I'm sitting, things look kind of hopeless for this family. If this is how things will keep on going between you two, the one that's going to come out losing the most is your son. I'll be frank, at this point, everyone might be better off if you get divorced. What? No, I don't want Mom and Dad to get a divorce because of me. That's going too far. Right, Mom, Dad? I won't deny your home life isn't exactly happy. Tell us the truth, son. You're fed up with me and your mother, aren't you? Sorry, I didn't mean for things to turn out this way. I thought that even if it took hard work, it would be smooth sailing after Chris made it into Aramis. His future would be set. But the more I think about it, I was just forcing him to do what I wanted and what would make me happy, not him. Mom. It's my fault too. I left your mother alone to deal with everything regarding the household. I didn't realize that you felt so trapped, son. No, that's not it. I didn't even make the effort to understand how you felt. I feel as your father. Dad. So what'll be? You gonna give up? Cut your marriage loose? So no, I don't want to. Yes, we've not seen each other eye to eye for a while, but that's no reason to throw it all away. We've come so far as a family. Not sure it's just been a while. But I'm not ready to throw in the towel either. I want to make amends even if I still have a lot to think about. You're my family after all. I think it's time for us to sit down and talk. Talk and figure out where we went wrong, and how to fix things. Yes, I think that's what we need. Okay. Whew, glad things have finally calmed down. You had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. I sincerely hope the conversation they'll have once we leave proves to be a fruitful one. I don't got anything else to add here. The rest is up to you. And don't worry about the whole drug deal. We'll take care of it discreetly so it doesn't become public. We'll get out of your hair now. Good luck, y'all.
All in a day's work.
Reward deposited.
A little bit for chaos. What's gotten into you two? You were all normal until this morning, and now you're all soft and stuff. Fine, I'll take the medicine, okay? And thanks, I guess I owe you one.
Guess I'll check out the arena.
Yo there, got a new flavor in stock if you want to check it out. Twice the cost, but twice the concentration for twice the high. It's no more addictive than the weaker stuff. Want to give it a shot? Can't say I do. Sorry, I'll pass. Oh, that's a shame. I worked hard on it for the festival, you know. I made sure it's worth the price. But no worries. If you don't want it, you don't want it. Oh, I've still got my usual stock in case you're craving something else. It's kind of weird. It's still dark and gloomy down here, but it feels like everybody's really excited. I guess even the Blacklight District gets swept up in the festival cheer. I wish you'd try my new stuff. I poured a ton of work into it in time for the Revolution Festival. I just know it's worth your while. But hey, you do you. I still got all my usual stock, so wherever you're in the market for, I've gotcha.
What will it be?
I can't go back up to the service anymore. I've got debt collectors on my tail, so I'm just stuck down here now. I'm just trying to make ends meet, landing whatever clients I can. It's not the worst I could be doing, but is this really how the rest of my life goes? I'm not exactly getting any younger here. Not that there's any use worrying now. It's not like I can just snap my fingers and change the way I live this late in the game. Sigh. I gotta sell off that lovely base today. Business is just booming these days. I'm on cloud 9, ho. Now, you don't look very sunny, Sonny. What got you down? We drove out those Amada goons for good, yeah? What better reason to go out and party?
Oh, I've got some fine wares.
Teapot. Mercy, am I relieved this Amada mess is yesterday's news? I read all about it. They said you took down that rotten old Dante's. And thanks to you, Blacklight's nice and peaceful again. Now I can get back to selling my shooty stabbies for this festival and other things. Other things? If you're trying to joke, it's not very funny. Oh dear, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend. I may be jocular, but I'm no joker. You see, Jaeger types tend to wash up here around festival time when they don't have any other work. That's good news for me. Oh, I never thought about that before. I guess that makes sense. Wow, that sounds amazing. I kind of want to see it for myself now. You might want to think twice before you go rolling around with them. This place gets real rowdy once the festival rolls around. I can just tell this year's festival is going to be a real boon. I'll just stock up in advance so I have everything for everyone. Landmines, RPGs, chainsaws, submachines, ooh, and jamming devices too. Those have been real hot commodities lately. It's hard getting my orders through to the manufacturers, but I simply must strike while the iron's hot. Hey, what's a Revolution Festival? Mommy and the others keep talking about it. Is it like a celery celebration? One of those? I went to one with Mommy at the Coliseum. Is this one like that? Mommy asked if I want to go, but I don't know if I want to, cause like I don't know what a Revolution Festival is. But I bet it's great. I get to be with Mommy, and being with Mommy makes me super duper ultra extra happy. Heh.
Let's talk if you've got...
I'm not really doing anything for the festival. I mean, I'm not Calvardian, and even if I were, this isn't exactly the most festive block in town. But everybody else is going on about it, of course. I figure I'll let Yoda walk around if he wants to. I do want to show him what the surface is like, the real world, so to speak. He's still got a shot at staying on the straight and narrow. Only problem is the bar. It's not going to run itself while I'm gone. Jacobin! What the hell are you doing down here? Hiding from Heiwei? What for? Something my funding cut off was bad enough. Now people are accusing me of working for Omada. Can you believe that? I couldn't care less about what happens to those goons. The last thing I need is the authorities going after me. Hey, what's got your panties in a bunch, old man? Har har. Hey, barkeep, get us stuffy fart some drinks. This man's still too sober, and that won't do. You stay out of this, you backward cretins. You people epitomize everything I detest. You and this wretched district are a scum of the earth. And I'll pull this whole blood-sucking weed from the ground up if I have to. That's my duty to this fine country. Oh, I remember this racist prick. Still up to his own ass from the sounds of it. I think I'll just leave him be for now. He won't be causing any trouble looking as scrawny as that. Everybody here will just laugh at him. Despite calling themselves the Patriot League, those spineless fools are all too quick to silence us actual patriots. We're a dying breed, I tell you. The more they reject us, the more they kill the idea of patriotism itself. Surely there must be someone who sympathizes with us, someone who truly cares. But where? Where are they hiding?
Cancel culture strikes again!
Eep! Oh my goodness, I didn't see you there. May I ask your name, sir? Oh, me? Well, I go by Burgard Zaman these days. Ooh, Burgard. Is it? You're so brilliant and handsome. Can I call you sir? I'm sorry, may I call you sir? Teehee. Oh no, don't tell me. Has she already fallen for him? So I think we already know the answer, but, well, you fall for him? I mean, how could I not? He's just so big and strong. I bet I could poke him full of holes and he'd never leave me. Oops, did I say that out loud? Oh no, you weren't supposed to hear that. Now my secret is out. I'm so embarrassed, so embarrassed. The hell you are. You don't have an innocent bone in your body. I'm flattered, miss. Thank you. Unfortunately, I have decided to remain single for the rest of my life. Oh, but sir, we would go together so well. Won't we please reconsider, please? A gilf, huh? Phew, so much for that romance. Regards, Amon. If only we had met sooner. We could have done amazing things together, sir. Really amazing things. I can't believe there's actually a conversation for him down here. I'm not sure you ever did have a chance. Yeah, no, I give her about half an hour before she finds some other guy to drool over. Truly, the goddess has blessed our world with many kinds of people. Many, many kinds.
What'll you have today?
Even your defense stat might not be enough to deal with this person. Anyways, get recipe, get anklet. Okay.
Thanks for coming.
I heard what you guys have been up to lately. Sounds like you made quite a splash over the old capital. I also heard some stuff about Omada's leadership. Sounds like they had quite the intriguing lineup, to say the least. Do they really have a 100-year-old ageless wonder on their team? What a medical marvel. I'd have loved to get a good look at him. At that age, I bet his body was indestructible, and therefore the perfect guinea pig. I bet I could have opened him up any which way I wanted. You sound like you miss him. Word of advice. Don't. He ain't worth it. What a freak. Saying all that with a straight face. Whoa. Everybody's scared shitless here. What's going on? Look over there. They've all fainted. What the? What could have happened? Oh, I think I might know. Got a hunch these fools tried barking up the wrong tree, and they paid the price. Hard. Ikaruga, what are they doing down here? Oh shit. That would explain it. Well, I'd say they had it coming then. No, it's multiple parties. The heck? Van, my friend, how wonderful to see you, and the rest of you as well. Good to see you, your highness. You sure roughed those poor bastards up good, huh? Oh, I had no hand in this. None whatsoever. You see, they attempted to make moves on these ladies here, and they just wouldn't take no for an answer. They got physical, and well... These women, they're truly a force to be reckoned with. Even yours truly quivers before them. Hey, don't you think that's a little mean, Prince? I was simply performing my duties, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, but that doesn't explain why you were all hanging out. You guys make for one weird posse, however you slice it. A mutual acquaintance of ours was kind enough to put me in touch with His Highness, so I came down here to meet with him. But then, as fate would have it, she happened to run to us here as well. I'm on a break for once after wrapping up a job. I came into town to unwind after the festival, take in some of the local sights. Anyway, I wandered down here looking for a little excitement, I guess you could say. And I got everything I bargained for and more. This is too good to be just some kind of coincidence. That's the most surprise together. What do you say, Yin, Miss Byguard? Want to go around? I think I'm good, thanks. Well, that sounds like a delightful proposal. Don't worry about me, Najee. I encourage, nay, implore you to take her up on it. So the things you say sometimes, your highness. I suppose I should just be grateful you're not thinking to throw it down with her yourself. Oh, didn't mean to leave you all out, Van. You guys are more than welcome to. Hell, yeah, no, we've got this thing called work. Strange, I know. Damn if I'm getting caught up in the crossfire between those two. I hate the kind of threesome I'm into. Oh, you're no fun. Oh well, there's always next time. Just don't burn the whole district down, alright? I still have to deal with her simulator battle, which is supposed to be really hard. I think I should save it for at the last minute so I'll have as much preparation as possible. Even with all this new equipment. Before I forget, I wanted to mention that you might see a familiar airship above the skies of Edith in time for the festival. The Principality plans to make a big splash of it, all part of our efforts to strengthen our ties with Calvard. You should receive more information on the details ere long. Whoa, that airship, the one you were kind enough to lend me in Orasian? That's amazing. Man, it's almost getting their vocabulary, is it? Still, thanks for letting us know. We'll keep an eye out for that follow-up. I knew my time wouldn't be wasted exploring this district, but I wasn't expecting to find all this down here. Very curious indeed. Najee may grumble about being here, but deep down I can tell she's intrigued herself. You should join us and watch. We would love your company, my friend. I really object to staying in this vulgar den. We have no further business down here. I say we leave post-haste. but as His Highness is wont to do, he'll be staying down here as long as he pleases. Sigh. I still don't get how you end up here of all places. I did hear you were back home tying up some loose ends, but that's about it. My troubles actually took me to President Rocksmith, as fate would have it. After what happened the other day, I wanted to assess the situation for myself. Fair enough. Thanks again for everything you did in Eurasian, by the way. We really appreciate it. What she said, I know you did a lot behind the scenes after we all duked it out back there. That was amazing how you and Heiwei were able to keep Alma in check like that. That couldn't have been easy. Oh, no need to thank me. I just did what I could to help. I may have moved to Crosswell, but Calvard is still my homeland. I won't allow them to defile it. So I'm happy I was able to help however I could. Got it. That makes more sense now. I understand that you are on leave from your troop. Do you intend to return soon? I do, yes. I'm booked for a handful of events coming up. Once the Revolution Festival is over, I'll be making my way back to Crossbell. I also want to attend a memorial service for the victims of Cray. I want to see for myself how the country responds. That's fair. Thank you for sharing all that with us. Sounds like you're gonna have your hands full once you're back in Crossbell. Hope you're able to take it easy in the meantime. Be a little lazy like our local celebrity. What? Excuse you. Have I been acting lazy to you, huh? That's the plan. That's the plan. Just taking it nice and slow while I can.
Well,
I'll be heading back to Crosswell once the Revolution Festival is over. I have work waiting for me there. But until then, I'm relaxing here in Calvard. If anything comes up, don't hesitate to get in touch. Enough about me, though. You guys look like you've got your hands full of things as usual, which I totally get. Can't take it easy just yet. What if the festival just around the corner and the fallout from everything with you know who? But don't you guys get the feeling that there has to be more going on? I don't know what, but it's like there's something else ringing in the air. Sure you're not just being paranoid? Keep talking like that and you're going to jinx us, girl. Never a dull moment with you, is there, Van Arkride? Heh. What is it people like to say about you? That you have a nose for things? It reminds me a lot of the unclouded eye. Well, whatever comes our way, both in the festival and beyond, I'm gonna take it all in stride and have a blast doing it. I know you guys can't help being busy right now, but you should consider taking some time off too. I think you'll be glad you did. If you ever want more company, I'm always happy to tag along.
What?
You know, they hold lots more than just tournaments at the Coliseum. They have all kinds of shows there too. Oh man, if you can catch one of the monster slaying exhibitions, those are just exhilarating. Highly recommend them. But they're not doing anything like that today. Plenty to do here though. Let me fetch you a drink, it'll cheer you right up.
Like it.
Ahem, I assume that one girl's around, yes? You know the one. Once I found the time, I came running. And 1 hour with, no, 2 hours. And if you can put me at the front of the line, I would really appreciate it. Yes, we can, Mr. President. She's been waiting for you with bated breath. Can I also interest you in a ball of our aphrodisiac? You won't have a hard time having a hard time if you catch my drift. Wow. Well, yes, you're right. That would be nice. I'll take 2. Oh, guys, help me. I'm starting to drool. I'm just too excited to see her. That's why I can't stop visiting this place. It gives me everything I need and more.
Now then.
I'm the one who roped this guy in. He's the head of some big company, but he just can't get enough of this place. Every week he slips through the cracks of his upper crust life just to see me. Ooh, it gives me chills. Our aphrodisiacs are selling like hotcakes too. It's a good time to be in Zamuria's oldest business, let me tell you. You won't hear me complaining about Omada getting the boot, but we've got tons and tons of festival goers trundling around their place now. It really isn't the best for business when rowdy types come along. Hopefully they mind their business. But there are so many deterrents in play now. Maybe I won't have anything to worry about. Who can say? Got Criminy. That racist coot's going on one of his rants again. Does he ever shut up? I just might have a word of that man later. Everybody can appreciate a useful idiot if you catch my drift. I can tell just by looking at him, poke him in the right place until he falls like a house of cards. Bet I can sucker him just like that. Hey there, come on and have some fun. Just don't get too naughty, alright? Every festival, the Coliseum down here holds a tournament called the Apex Showdown. It's hell of a hoot. They kick it off with this monster bloodbath, all kinds of different creatures going at each other. Pretty thrilling stuff, and it makes for as good an excuse to gamble as any. You should check it out if you're into that kind of thing. Oh yeah, the Apex Showdown's only 3 days away. That's where they crowned this year's champion. I'm getting pumped up, man. Shit like that's what I call living. This is all I live for now. Real raw-ass fights with all the pain and thrills you could ever ask for. Bring it on! Hey, Gore, I need water. I told you to take it easy on the hard stuff while we're here. We're not on our home turf. You can't expect them to make stuff the same here. Oh, hey, didn't realize you two were in need of. Looks like you're having a real fun time. Hey there, good to see you. We've been working like dogs on the broker stuff. Thought we could use a break here now, and here we are. Just having fun in our lives. So what dragged you two all the way here? You want their tail, I take it? Yep, we're trying to figure out how the underworld's changing now that they're gone. And you can really only do that on the ground. It's pretty calm so far, surprisingly. More than I expected. Maybe it's because the CID was so on top of the stragglers. Probably, now that those smug pricks aren't running around, the underground's settling back down. Those drugs, though, those will be sticking around for a while. It's a lot tougher to get those off the streets. That does make sense. That's unfortunate. Actually, this chat just reminded me of something. I've heard this whispers about some 2-bit gangster who's on the run from the feds now after he did some work for those guys. Word is he's camping out somewhere in the Tyrell District. I don't have anything else to go on, but I figured you might want to know. Is it that guy? That orange hair guy? The Tyrell District, huh? Oh, that's a good tip. Appreciate it. Well, have fun, you two. Just try to stay on your feet. Jack, alright? I saw a ton of booze friends I'd never seen at Longport or Brownie's Choice, so I decided to give them a whirl, and it was not a good idea. Gosh, I'm gonna be sick. You guys working right now? Nice, keep it up. Just don't work too hard, alright? No shame in taking a break every now and again. We've got lots of colorful folks down here already, and it's not even festival time yet. Hardly any point in trying to babysit Jack here. It'll turn out like it always does. Maybe I'll just take a walk and see what's around here.
Okay.
You really did come, not that I didn't trust Dingo at all. The name's Van Arkride. I take it you're Meld's editor-in-chief. Yep, that's me. Me and Dingo go back about 7 years. He told me a lot about you. Sounds like you were real busy over in Arassian too. Heh, no clue what you're on about. I thought there would be no reports about us being involved with it. There won't. The authorities are keeping it a secret. Dude's probably just saying that to get under our skin. Heh, well whatever, it's not getting an article, so I'm not interested. I call you here for one of those 4 SPGs of yours. Nothing more, nothing less. The gist of it is I want you to help me look for Dingo's notebook. Oh? What's this about? You suspect he had a notebook containing information he gathered as a reporter, or more like as an information dealer? Both, actually. I first heard about it a few weeks ago, just before he headed off to Cray. I could tell he was chasing a dangerous scoop of some kind. So I jokingly asked if he had a will ready yet. Oh. And look at us now. It didn't really occur to me, not even for a second, that this would happen to him just 4 days later. He left it at a time and said one thing to me. The closest thing I have to a will is my notebook. I've left it with a trusted source, so if anything happens to me, send out a 4SPG about it. Wait a second. So this is a third memento of his on top of the video and camera. We don't have that notebook ourselves, though. Sorry if that's what you were hoping for. Oh, I never thought you did, but I suspect you're the only one who can track it down. Dingo seemed to trust you more than anyone, so I suspect that's the way you wanted it to play out too. The authorities have got everything that happened in Cray down on lock, and Almada are dead gone. So I can't imagine it'd have anything worth writing an article about in there to begin with, which means it's not worth my while hunting down. But I can't just go and ignore his words about it. So here we are. I'll put up the money for you to find this thing. My last gift to him. So what's it going to be, Spriggan? You gonna go find Dingo's notebook or not? Except... Well, take the job. You got anything else you want to share? Maybe he said something more about this trusted source of his, for example. Yeah, I remember telling him that was nowhere near enough info to find the thing myself. Only hint he gave me was that it's with people who know about as much about my plan as you do. My past as you do. Okay. Hey, way to pique my interest. I wonder what Dingo's past was like. I only heard bits of it myself. How much do you want to know? Even less than you do, I suspect. I know he used to live in Messeldam before ending up in the capital 7 years ago. That's about it. Wait, didn't Dante's act like he knew him?
It's been some time since we last met, Dingo Brad. Though we did cross paths in Tharbad, albeit briefly. If we exclude that little encounter, I haven't seen you since your days as a mere informant in Messeldam.
Yeah, and you were still Enrique's second-in-command back then.
They did touch on it during the Cray video. Alright, we'll see what we can dig up with that info then. Good luck. Anyway, my break's over. I've got to get back to work on finding scoops for a festival. I'll give you my number. Just give me a call if you do find it. I'll wire you the money if you do. It can be my way of honoring Dingo's death. Got it. We'll take it from here. So what's the plan here? We don't exactly have a load of info to go off of. Only clue we have is that it's someone that knows as much about Dingo as that guy does. That rules out Jack and Bermati, and Van obviously. Oh, and Ren too. Yeah, any information dealer is probably out of question here, and so is anyone with as many connections as Ren has. And people like Nina and I know even less than that editor-in-chief does. Dingo is a very private person, and it went both ways. It honestly surprised me to see a gossip magazine reporter being so considerate. That's just how Dingo was. Jack, Bermati, and I tried not to pry into his past either, mind you. But something must have happened between Dingo and Dante's while he was still in Messeldam. He left the city after whatever that was, ending up in the capital and becoming a reporter right after. So I don't want any details, but I imagine we'll get out of this knowing a whole lot more than we came in with. We're gonna be unearthing what he tried to bury this whole time, all the burdens he carried by himself. Van, you don't look like you're about to back down though. No way, a job's a job, and I'm nothing if I can't see this kind of shit through. But anyway, I can think of at least one person who'd fit the bill for this job that won't be a pain in the ass to meet up with. Oh? It's not an information dealer, mind you, but she was close to Dingo. I can't be the only one who immediately thought of her. Oh. I suspect I see who you mean now. Are we going to meet her then? Yeah, let's head on over to the Tyrell Times. Don't think a meeting with her will be all that hard to get as long as she's not out of the office. Right. Oh, damn it, that bastard up and left us with the bill. Gotta be pretty sly if you're gonna be writing the biggest gossip rag in the country. Well, it's the least we could do for him since he brought this to our attention.
Well, I heard.
Oh, hey guys, good to see you again. Need something with the paper? Not this time, we came here to talk to you, Marielle. I'll give it to you straight. We're working on a forest species involving Dingo and need your help. What, you are? What sort of request is it? Please tell me. To put it simply, you talked to Meld's editor-in-chief, Mr. Cunning. Dingo told me about him before, but I've never had the chance to meet him in person. He said he wants you to find Dingo's notebook. That's right. Do you remember Dingo ever talking to you about that thing by any chance? It doesn't have to be anything direct or explicit. Anything you happen to remember him saying will help. Actually, we didn't just talk about it before. I've seen that notebook with my own eyes. Say what? How did that happen? Or as I'm sure you all noticed, when he was alive, I tended to barge in on him while he was trying to work and stuff. One day while we were having lunch, I was asking for advice on how to interview people and he was writing stuff in this black leather notebook. I asked him what it was since I was curious. He told me it's where he jots down his info down, both for his reporting work and info broker stuff. That definitely sounds like what we're after. At least now we know it's real. I got a little whiny and tried to get him to show me his notes, but of course he refused. When I got huffy about it, he kind of laughed and patted me on the head. I still remember exactly what he said. Who knows, maybe you'll get a peek at them one of these days, although if I play my cards right, you shouldn't ever have to. Oh wow. He must have already been preparing for what might happen to him in that case. If that's the way he was talking, then we can probably rule out him taking the notebook with him to Cray. The CAD also apparently swept through his place and couldn't find any real material of note that he left there either. He had to have either given it to someone else to hang onto or stash it somewhere for safekeeping. Which brings me to my next question. Can you think of anyone here he would have left a notebook with, or anyone who might know where it would be? Again, it's okay if you don't know anything definitive. Any leads you might have would be great. And just to be clear, I don't mean other brokers like Bermati. I'm talking about other sorts of acquaintances he had. Right, of course. Let me think. Based on what Mr. Cunning told you. Wait, could he have... You think of something? Maybe. I could be completely wrong, but I can't rule it out either. Basically, when Dingo was alive, he would sometimes cover the adult industry for Meld magazine. He did. That's interesting. I guess that comes with being a tabloid reporter. What's the adult industry? Doesn't every industry have adults in it? It's code for grown-up stuff. Certainly more grown-up than his wannabe protege here, that's for sure. Grr. Anyway, one time I confronted him about it. Do you really have to cover such sexual stuff in your articles? If readers demand it, it's our job as reporters to give them what they want, plain and simple. Plus, it's a way to get information that can help shut down some of the nastier illegal practices places run by the mafia. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Say, out of curiosity, do you ever visit those sorts of places yourself? Huh? Only when I need to for work. Lately, I've been too busy to go to any places like that myself, so I've had to lean on one of my old contacts a lot to get what I need. Not exactly ideal when my job is supposed to be to report on things I see myself, but it is what it is. Fair enough, I guess. You sure won't hear me complaining about you. Complaining about what? Nothing at all. Anyway, who's this contact you mentioned? Her? She's a woman who operates underground. Runs a handful of outlets. Pretty talented, all things considered. Your contact is a woman? Yeah, why does that matter? Ugh. You've got to introduce me to her. It'll help me write better news articles, yeah. Unfortunately, Dingo said it was too soon for me to be going to a place like that, and that was that. Looking back on it, there's only one part of town he could have meant when he said she worked underground, huh? Yeah, I think that one goes without saying. Not only that, I think I just might know the woman he's talking about. Never would have guessed those two had any history, but just goes to show it's a small world we live in. I certainly remember there being a business that fit the bill when we were down there. Does that mean we're going to the Blacklight District? Yeah, who knows if we'll turn up anything down there, but it's worth a shot.
Hey, you guys? I want to go with you. Could I? Please?
I don't know. Yeah, it gets kind of dangerous in the Blacklight District. Oh, I already know how dangerous it can be, believe me. We're talking about Dingo's notes here. What's inside them matters to me too, you know?
Who knows? Maybe you'll get a peek at them one of these days. Although if I play my cards right, you should never have to.
She does have a point. What do you think, Van? Alright, you can come. You did give us some valuable info, so it's only fair, but you gotta promise two things. One, you'll stay behind us down there. No running ahead. And two, you'll carry your own weight and help us out too. Deal? Deal. Thanks, Van. I promise. You won't regret this. Temporarily join the group. Topic Dingo's notebook. What if I try to bring her to other quests like this? Would they even let me? That'd be pretty crazy if they did, huh?
Let me ask you something.
Oh, it's you. You know, I thought I knew you well, but I had no idea you and Dingo went so far back. Level with me here. You were the one helping him investigate Almada's illegal adult business, weren't you? So yeah, that's right. We must have worked together for, a decade, you want to say. We both had to keep it on the download in order to operate freely, though. He and I had known each other since we were both up in Mesalam. That long, huh? Guess that makes sense. Well, if you don't mind me asking, how did the two of you, meet? Oh, it wasn't anything special. He was a newly minted intel broker, and it was your common horror, making ends meet out on the streets. We had a nice little thing going. He'd buy information I coaxed from my clients, and I do him some favors in kind. He scratched my back, and I scratched his. Huh, this is all news to me. Can we assume Dingo hadn't started doing any reporting work back then? More or less. I will say, for an errand boy working underground, he had a certain naivety to him back then, maybe because he was still so young. I had an acquaintance who worked at a local paper. I remember he was pretty intrigued about that side of things. I also mentioned it was 8 years ago when I made the move to Edith and set up shop down here. But before I left, he gave me some top secret information as a parting gift. His intel and his connections have been a huge help to me. And leave it to the lady killer to schmooze his way into the underground. He really helped a lot of people while he was alive, didn't he? That he did. Later on, after everything went down in Mesalam, that's when he ended up drifting into town. Personally, I was happy to see him make a clean break and get into a better line of work with better people. You never know what life has in store for you. Maybe the gods took a liking to him and threw him a bone. Maybe so, yeah. Sorry to interject, but what happened to him in Mesalam? I didn't know anything about that. I wish I could tell you, honey, but it's not really my place to say. That all happened after I left, so I only heard things through the grapevine. But I won't leave you empty-handed. If you're looking for this notebook, I've got some information I'd be happy to share. Really? You do that? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Just to clarify, we're looking for this black leather notebook he used to carry around. You've seen it before, I take it. Sure have. He'd been looking for a place to stash it away. I offered to hold on to it myself, but he turned me down. Can't blame him for being so cautious when he was going up against Almada. But I did hear him mutter about asking someone for help on his way out of town for a piece. That was 3 days before everything went down cray for reference. Holy cow, what timing? That's a valuable clue there. Actually, now that she mentions it, how did Dingo get to Cray? Do you have any ideas, Van? He had this tiny-ass car, but he never drove it all that much. He was always paranoid of people following him. Usually he took a train or bus when he had to go out to the sticks. Probably flew a bit from time to time too. But I didn't know what he did there. Same, we're talking about a guy who knew all their tricks by that point. He might as well have just been moving randomly. He sure as hell wouldn't take something as obvious as public transit, not when Almada had eyes everywhere. Exactly, I think we can roll out his own car too. That would have carried its own risks. Thinking realistically, you probably would have... Taxi? I think chances are pretty good our guy took a taxi. Sure as hell ain't cheap, but have given him the lowest profile and the most flexibility. They blend right in on the road. Oh, good thinking. You might be onto something, man. Taxis are pretty commonplace, especially for people heading out of town. There's no way Almada could have been monitoring every single taxi riding in Edith. So let's say he did take a taxi. What kind would he have taken? Probably one of those independent ones instead of a company taxi, right? That's a good point. A self-employed driver would have given him more flexibility. Sounds like you guys have your next lead. I have no idea who the driver could be, unfortunately. Maybe it was one of his friends. My guess is he had a driver he hired on the regular, someone he could trust. Does that ring any bells for you, sweetheart? You know something? It actually does. I remember Dingo would sometimes hail a taxi to get to a reporting site. He mostly took one that had this black and yellow checkered pattern around the bottom. The driver was an eccentric guy too, from what I recall. Oh wow, that's really good info. Glad you were able to remember that. You said it. We'll have to look into that once we're done here. Anyway, thanks for our chat, Mistress. I'll pay you back sometime. Yes, thank you so much. You have no idea how grateful I am. Oh, don't mention it. I owe Dingo that much. That said, you can always repay me by coming back to here to play, you know? Don't forget that. But yeah, Dingo would tell me stories about you two sometimes. The punk-ass spriggan and the newbie reporter he had befriended. I do hope you're able to track down his notebook. If there's anyone out there he'd want to inherit it, I have to imagine it'd be you two. Thank you. We'll do our best. We're sure as hell gonna try. Be a waste just to let it go after doing all this work for it. A taxi with a black and yellow checkered pattern. I know exactly which one that is. Had no idea Dingo was a regular in it. I see that car out by Central Station a lot. Driver's probably out for lunch right now, though. Let's check the food stalls first. See if we can get lucky. Oh, that car there has a checkered pattern. That's gotta be it. That's the taxi. The driver's gotta be close. Let's sniff him out. Woo, love this place. Can't have real Eastern soba without the wasabi. How about it, brothers? Care to take a seat and throw one back with your boy? Sorry, gonna have to take a rain check on that. Got some stuff to do today.
Let me ask you something.
Oh, well, it isn't a big boy with a cute girl hugging his arm. Never thought you'd ask me about that name and notebook. Winners never cease, huh? Ah, looks like we found our guy. So whereas you were scratching Dingo's back every now and then. Yep, I may not look it, but I used to run all over the Republic taking odd jobs on the down low. I was on this smuggling run once and bam, I bumped right into him. That's how we met. That must have been, 10 years ago. Dingo would have been around 20, I think. Alright. So do you know how he got tangled up with Almada back then, too? Oh my boy, do I ever. That was what led him to ask me for help out of the city that day. I snuck him out just like that. He hopped on a bus for Cray, and that was the last I saw of him. In retrospect, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have let his dumbass do that. It wasn't your fault, Giordano. Don't beat yourself up over it. You weren't the one who killed him. It was Almada. Not even. Dante's owned that shit heel. You're right, yeah. I heard he got what was coming to him at the old capital. I bet Dingo's laughing up there. I'm happy karma came around for the bastard. I hope it makes him feel better. He really regretted being the guy's broker in his past. Dante's really wasn't the same guy once he took over. So that's his background, huh? Not trying to justify him, but Dante's used to have a good rep on the streets. He had a code and he stuck to it, and that let people trust him. No wonder he ended up so popular with how much everybody hated the head honcho before him. He got Dingo hook, line, and sinker. Dingo was his informant, fed him the info he needed to bring the old guy down, and now instead we have this monster he built. A monster, huh? A fitting title for him. I'm not too privy to what happened beyond that, so I don't want to speculate. So you're looking for Dingo's old notebook, and you think I've got it. Bingo. Please, may I please have it? Well, I'd love to give it to you, but I'm afraid I can't. Why not? Is there something he wanted done first? What, Preboy say it was for your eyes only? Well, he told me to keep an eye out for this spriggan guy and the newbie reporter. If anything happened to him, he wanted me to give this here key to whichever of you two I bump into first. Coin locker key? Oh. So, what is this key for? Looks like a key for a station coin locker like you see around the subway. Spot on. He said he stashed it in the easiest locker he could find. I'm not sure what you meant by that, though. I have no idea which station it's at. Got it. The easiest locker he could find. Where would that be? Well, that about gives it away. Oh, could it be the one by Van's office? Probably. Let's head on back and take a look. Thanks a bunch, Giordano. Maybe I'll make it up to you with a joyride one of these days, when I feel like it. Hi, you just call me anytime you're plastered and I'll be your DD. That key we got from the driver probably goes to one of the coin lockers here. What do you say? Should we check what's inside? Gulp. Absolutely, I'm ready. Okay, let's head in. Mariel and Yaris found the coin lockers tucked away in the corner of the subway station. They located the one that corresponded with the key they held, finding a black leather notebook inside. The group then proceeded to move to a quiet location in order to inspect the contents of the notebook. This is something, alright. I didn't get to talk to Dingo much, but I know for a fact that he was an outstanding man. Indeed, not just anyone could pursue Armada to the degree he did without backup. It was probably his way of making amends for the role he played in Dante's Rise of Power. These notes mention how the previous boss's family was murdered, too. Even they didn't get spared. That's horrible. Such a heavy burden for him to carry. But that wasn't his fault. He couldn't have known that's what would happen. I can't imagine he felt like he could be in the public eye anymore after that. And that's why he took me under his wing. A good-for-nothing rookie. It appears he compiled quite a few notes about the ringleaders we took down in Narasian as well. Yeah, let's take a look. Wow, that's a lot of info. Viola. Gender female, age 26, originally from a minor noble family in the Quatre region in the Central East. Her family fell into bankruptcy after Quade's annexation by Valis. Viola herself being sold off to a wealthy merchant so they could make ends meet. She soon fell in the hands of a criminal organization that was targeting the merchant. Though initially nothing more than a plaything and object of pleasure, she eventually managed to oust the boss and wrestle control into her own hands. The real leadership reputation precedes her. When 2 years later the group tried to expand their influence into Calvard, they caught the attention of Armada. Conflict with them was brief, as they were quickly obliterated by Dantes, to whom Viola swore loyalty afterward. As a consequence of her turbulent past, she is incredibly dependent on Dantes, which might be the reason she harbors a fierce rivalry with her fellow Melchior, the position's equivalent within the organization. Though the body of her nail gun was reduced by exact arms, the full piece is not a part of their official lineup. Further research regarding the origin of her weapon is needed. Alexander. Gender male, age 45. Born in the former Principality of Northumbria and northwestern Zemuria, he was 5 years old when the Salt Pale appeared, sowing chaos in his homeland. Him and his father, then protectors of the ruling family, fled alongside Prince Balman when he fled the country. Spent most of his childhood and adolescent years in the free city of Tazlam. Trained by his father in the traditional military arts of their homeland, he served the former ruling family until the age of 25, though his life was soon thrown into chaos. His father and he were both ordered to retake Northumbria following the death of the Northern Jaeger's figurehead, the current ruler since Prince Balman's escape. After an assault on Northumbria's capital, Haliask, they managed to seize and control the city for a time, acting as his effective government before being overthrown by the Northern Jaegers. This ensued a massacre of the remaining civilians in Haliask, mandated by the crazed former Prince Balman. Standing in opposition with one another, Alexander and his father dueled to the death, Alexander emerging victorious before withdrawing from the battlefield. Though his current whereabouts are unknown, it is believed that Prince Balman was swiftly and secretly executed by the Northern Jaegers following his capture. Wandering from one corpse to another, Alexander was eventually scouted by Dantes himself and brought into a leadership position within Armada. Though outwardly austere and restrained, he is merciless in combat, sparing no one who dare cross him. His ultimate goal being the search for his final resting place, he has rejected any attempt at persuading him to leave Armada. Despite the mechanized gauntlet he wields not being part of their official lineup, it does appear that they were developed by Zect Arms. Olympia, gender female, age 19. Little is known about her, although she allegedly hails from a remote village hidden in eastern Zemuria. Rumors say that the entire village was comprised of heretical puppeteers who worshipped a doll made in the image of an angel. Though thought to be an artifact of some sort, the doll was looked after by medium. The village's gruesome customs mandated that those close to the medium were to be offered as sacrifices. These sacrifices spared no one, not friends nor family, though soon tragedy beheld the village, leaving Olympia and the doll alone to wander the continent after the demise of all they knew. Multiple records suggest instances of criminals being slaughtered when encroaching on the wandering pair. She was later inducted into the Gardens, the assassin organization, and made overseer of the Garden of Aurum, though it appears she has mostly been left to her own devices after being invited by the overseers, these including Melchior and the Emperor. If I were to guess, the incident that took place in her village led to her and the angel developing a psychologically interdependent relationship, resulting in her autonomy and emotional expression diminishing. In light of the crisis that's made the Gardens join forces, she may have a chance to reclaim that lost capacity, albeit an incredibly slim one. Arioch. gender male, age over 150. In contrast to the known confirmed leaders of Amada and Garden's overseers, evidence reports of him are few. What we do know of him, the Garden of Rest overseer, is that he's a very dangerous man, clad in heavy armor. Much information about him stretches belief, including how he was supposedly born in a different time period altogether, over 150 years ago. If he was, he said this proceed from the mythical Holy Iskan Empire, an enormous nation believed to have laid just across the Tian Shan Ishkal Mountains to Calvard's east. The empire is presumed to have vanished following Calamity 130 years ago. In its heyday, 9 groups served to protect the royal imperial line. Eastern sources indicate he was a warrior who represented the Rahu, a tribe of white descent hailing from the west. I'm inclined to believe it's all bullshit, but in an age where immortals like the Lance Bane can exist in Erebonia, I can't rule out the possibility of there being some truth to it either. Whether it's true or not, evidence might suggest that his armor and his strangely shaped battle axe might be artifacts. Considering his joining the Gardens and the stories claiming his immortality, this might be highly likely. On top of that, he's the primary suspect regarding the Eisen Shield's annihilation in the outskirts of Cray, but I still can't say that for a fact. More information is needed. Melchior, gender male, age 21, one of Amada's 3 pillars, and quite possibly its most evil and sinister member. He doubles down as the Garden's ringleader and overseer of the Garden of Thorns. Melchior's skills don't fall behind any of his artifact-wielding peers, being highly skilled in the use of the orbital net and being capable of infinitely spawning and freely controlling explosives. Beyond that, he also acts as Almada's main strategist and Dante's right-hand man confidant, and possibly his lover. Though his past is shrouded in mystery, his origins might trace back to the same organization that Oathbreaker, one of Ouroboros' Anguis, also comes from. The Order of the Moonlight Horse existed since the Middle Ages, where Oathbreaker sat among his top brass for the longest time before losing to Ouroboros and switching sides. He's an entirely different matter, and a major threat to all of his own. Wrapping this back around, Melchior might have been a direct subordinate of the Oathbreaker before going on to take in the scattered remnants of that infamous cult. If that's true, that would make him something of a prince of the underworld. For someone as powerful as him to idolize Dante so much is nothing short of ominous and concerning, to say the least. Another thing that concerns me is him staying in Cray's vicinity following the Eisen Shield turning into ghouls. Cray's not just some sleepy village with beautiful vistas, more than a touristic spot. It lies stuck between several forces working from the shadows. It also happens to be one of the few places in northern Calvard with a sizable central eastern population. One of the sources of Almada's financing, actually I run not speculating any further. And Dante's. Gerard Dante's, gender male, age 34. Let my feelings take away. Dante's could fill every single page in this notebook. There's not a night where I'm not overcome with regret, but this notebook is not meant for my personal thoughts. Most things I've come to learn about him and his life are at least a little eyebrow-raising. Him being a member of the DG cult before joining Almada, being related to Calvard's old royal family, perhaps even a direct descendant. The tales of his sword are equally hard to believe. A gigantic blade of black and silver, thought to be an artifact hidden by the royal family. This demon blade was the instrument with which he slew Enrique, Almada's previous head. Hard as these tales are to believe, their true purpose is to strike fear into the hearts of those who hear them, to make Dante's nothing short of the living manifestation of shadows and agony. Deep as the abyss and equally as alluring, his unquenchable thirst for fear is what draws many to him. Seductive and enchanting has earned him many loyal followers. But where does such unfathomable hunger come from? A new hypothesis surfaced recently, which might finally explain things. Its source, however, is a little unusual. I'm not particularly keen to take it at face value. But that's neither here nor there. The more pressing matter is his goal in Basel, and that him and the others may have been after something else. His true goal, I imagine, fear. The want and need to bring about true dread and terror to the masses. He wasn't able to achieve it even with the help of a genius, but that will not put a stop to him. He'll stop at nothing to achieve his mission. Looking into this matter should take priority. Regardless, he sure managed to pull a fast one on me in Farbad. I was distracted by that call, but that's no excuse. I should have seen through him much sooner than I did. But tries he might to stay one step ahead. I'll forever be on his heels.
At this point, I've worked out how I'm going to get everything recorded, as well as how to leave these notes behind. Now comes the real showdown with him. It's going to be the biggest gamble I make as both a reporter and an information dealer. If, by some sheer miracle, I make it back in one piece, I'll absolutely be following up on those theories I've written about. I can already imagine the hell I'm in for with that dope of a spriggan and that cub reporter. I really do worry about her. But you know what? At the end of the day, that's just part of the fun.
Okay, close notes.
Dingo. Dingo!
You dumbass. Who's the real dope between us, huh?
This dude was totally nuts. How the hell did he find it in him to go that far? I can only imagine his love and care for others spurring him on to gather this much information. He was both a clever and kind man. And he wasn't just trying to make amends or settle a score. I don't doubt he's genuinely worried for everyone's future. It goes without saying, but it's a true shame. He was taken from us far too young. I'm so glad you two were able to find his notes. Likewise, it must have been the will of the goddess. Once Marielle collected herself, the party drove her back to Tyrell Times. After reporting their success to the editor-in-chief Cunning, they got back to work. As for Dingo's notes, once the contents were copied, it was decided that Marielle would hold on to the originals for safekeeping.
That's a wrap. Love to see it.
Reward deposited.
Okay, one additional free point, but that's not enough for all of them. You okay, Van? Oh yeah, I'm fine. Just thinking. Is there something bothering you? Guessing the stories about the gangsters and Almada remnants are on your mind. Yeah. If Ramai, Jack, and Kilika were all talking about them, then it's definitely worth mulling about. We heard something interesting while following up on Dingo's case too. You're referring to the account of them being sighted in the Tyrell District, correct? Oh yeah, now that you mention it, that is kind of worrying. Maybe we should drop by Tyrell, just in case, you know? Not a bad idea. Can't hurt to check the area out again. We can probably rule out the busier parts of the district. Same for the area near a restaurant that's run by Hayway. Additional mandatory investigation point has been added in Tyrell District. Thanks for tuning in to this Let's Play of Trails Through Daybreak. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and or hit the bell icon.